I quickly want to go over this order that we received on June 3rd. Customer ordered 3 syringes of Flux, 1005 filters, 201 filters, and low melt solder sticks. And the shipment is going to Melbourne, Australia. The customer's name is Imran. We shipped out the order the very same day. Look at this here, June 3rd. Order was placed on June 3rd and we shipped out the order on June 3rd. Back then we were charging $10 flat rate for international shipping if the weight is below 1 pound, or $25 for international shipping if the order is above 1 pound. His order was below 1 pound, so we charged him $10 for shipping and we mailed that package. We are during a pandemic. We did not know that USPS or the post office is going to take very long to deliver Imran's package. Imran did contact us and I told him to be a little bit patient. We are in a pandemic and the post office is taking longer than usual to deliver the package. The package shows that it's in transit. The customer filed a PayPal dispute. What I did is I refunded back the customer's money. I do not recommend anybody file a PayPal dispute unless you communicate with the vendor or with the shop, because a dispute can hurt the reputation of the seller. Anyway, Imran filed a PayPal dispute and we refunded his money because we did track the package and he did not receive the package. It's been over maybe 3 months and Imran still did not receive the package. Imran called us because he just recently received the order after a couple of months placing an order. He just received it and now he's calling us because he wanna make a payment for that order. We refunded the money. Imran did not have to call us. He did not have to pay us. He did not have to tell us that he received the package. The tracking number is still showing that Imran did not receive the package, but he called us because he's an honest person and there are still a lot of good people out there. He called us and he said that I want to pay for the order because I just received it. I mean, how great is that person? How great is that person? How awesome is that person? The next time that person places an order on our side, I'm gonna go far and beyond to make that person as happy as possible, as satisfied as possible. So that's how customers should be like. When a customer treats you good, I go far and beyond to treat them better. And when a customer treats you otherwise, he doesn't treat you good, he's calling and his voice is loud or he's angry, then guess what? I put that device on the side and I do not work on it. I work on something else. We have so many devices that we need to fix. I do not have time to argue with customers. I do not have time for customers to be loud. I put it on the side. I let the customer wait 3-4 days and then I work on it again. And then if the customer is more angry, I ship it back to him. We do not fix it. So I do not want to deal with hard to please customers because you will never be able to satisfy those customers. I rather not work with those customers. And I rather work with customers like this gentleman here. 3-4 months. He got his order and now he's calling to pay for his order because we refunded his money back before he received the order. How awesome is that person? How awesome is that person? I just wanted to give him a shout out and I want to thank him for his honesty. And as far as shipping, we are no longer shipping USPS or post office internationally because of what's happening. We had a lot of people complain that they are not receiving their packages with the post office. We track the package and we find that it's stuck somewhere in Europe or stuck somewhere in Asia, or it's not arriving to its destination. And then after 4 or 5 months, we get that package back. So we stopped dealing with the post office and now we are dealing with UPS and FedEx. UPS and FedEx, they deliver within 3-4 days or 5 days. Shipping charge is $45 with FedEx, UPS, but you know what? You will get the package within 3-4 days, 5 days, and we do not have to worry about the package getting lost or the package not arriving to its destination. We are not making that money to ourselves. That's what the package costs to ship. I just want to show you packages that we ship to customers. Look at this. UPS worldwide, $39, $42, $45, $25, $42, $39, $48. When the shipping is $48, we do not ask the customer for $3 more to pay on top of the 45 so we can ship it. We just take the cost. 42, 39, 45, 82. His country is $82 to ship the package to, and his package is not even heavy. So we had to let the customer know. We called him and we told him that you paid $45, but shipping will be $82. Do you want to pay more so we can ship it to you, or how do you want to proceed? The customer paid us and we shipped it to him. The nice thing is when you place an order 2 or 3 days, 4 days, or 5 days, you will get the package. You do not have to wait 2 or 3 weeks like the post office. 50% of our packages got lost with the post office, and that's why we stopped dealing with the post office, and that's why the rate went up on shipping. So that's how much shipping is, and I just wanted to quickly go over it. Okay, so in this video we're going to be working on an iPad Pro 10.5 inch that came in for no power. Customer said that he had this tablet in the closet for almost a year and he did not know what to do with it. Nobody would fix it for him. So he brought it in. I disassembled the screen, as you can see here. His screen looks good. The iPad looks like it's never been to a repair shop before. All the shields are mint, intact, and everything is like factory. Now what I did is I disassembled the battery so we can work on it. The first thing I want to do is check to see if the charging Flux cable is good and if the Tristar charging IC is good, because if neither are good, then if the battery is dead, it's not going to be able to charge again and the tablet will not work. So right now the first thing I want to do is test the charging Flux cable and test the Tristar charging IC using the Tristar tester. We're going to plug it in and I'm going to put the device under the microscope so you can see what readings we get. Right now it shows that device is connected, so it means that the charging Flux cable is making a connection with the board. No problems. And we're gonna hit the test button to test and see if the charging IC is good. The charging IC is called the Tristar IC. The Tristar chip can fail if you are using a non-original Apple cable or a non-certified MFI cable. The fact that it's taken long to finish is not good. Fail. Okay, so we have a Tristar chip issue. Look at this. It failed on PP5V0 USB. The Tristar chip on the iPad 10.5 is located right over here. So we have to heat up this plate to desolder it and remove it. Usually on previous versions of the iPads, iPad 9.7, iPad Air 2, iPad Air, iPad 6, iPad 7, iPad minis, the Tristar chip is usually located on this area where we remove this black shield by unscrewing those screws here. But on this one we have to heat up the plate so we can desolder the edges and lift that plate up. Right now I'm going to give this a big buzz to disassemble the board. It's not safe to work on the board while it's still inside the tablet, even though I've done it before, but it's not safe. The reason is when we heat up this plate to remove it, heat can spill out and melt the battery from here, and we do not want that to happen, so it's safer to just remove the board. It only takes a couple of minutes, so I'll be back. So the board is out. It only took a few minutes to remove it, and now we're going to go ahead and desolder this plate so we can access the Tristar chip. And like I said, it's always safer to work on the board when it's outside the tablet because the plate is very close to the battery and we can end up damaging the battery if we work on it while the board is still inside the tablet. So it only takes a few minutes to remove the board. Just like when a car is driving in the street, they see a yellow light that's about to turn red. They keep going, and that's how accidents happen. I mean, it only takes a few minutes. If you wait until the light turns green again, it's safer. But people have no patience. People have no patience. That's why patience is a virtue. And those with patience are usually the ones that succeed. It's like a person, he wanna start a YouTube channel. He posts the first video. He posts the second video, the third video, the fourth video. He look at the views, 1 view, 2 views, no subscribers. He runs out of patience and he just stops posting. That's what happens. That's the wrong way to do things. You're not gonna get subscribers quick. You're not gonna get views quick. Nobody knows you. Because I have friends that wanted to start a YouTube channel and they tell me, how do you do it? I started from zero, just like everybody else. And I earned every single subscriber that you see on the channel. Every subscriber that we got onto our channel is because of hard work, persistency, patience, and not expecting anything from anyone. There's a lot of channels that I gave shout outs to and they never returned the favor. God forbid we gain a subscriber or two because they sent people our way. That's how people are. Do not expect anybody to help you out in your journey. Do not think that others are gonna make who you are. Always depend on yourself. It may take a little bit longer to achieve what you want, but always depend on yourself. And lastly, you have to enjoy what you do, because if you do not enjoy what you do, you're gonna live a very miserable life. You're gonna wake up every day thinking, what am I doing? It's just another day. I hate work, I hate my job. So if you do not have a profession and you do not know where you are going, maybe you should see what interests you and start learning. Start learning. Once you stop learning, life will get boring. I mean, I cannot imagine myself sitting home all day. I can if I want, okay? I worked so hard, I made enough money, I can sit home and do nothing. But I do not do that, because once you stop learning, life will get boring. Right now, I enjoy every single device that I work on. I enjoy it. I enjoy fixing that device. I admit this business does come with its ups and downs. You do have days where there's a lot of stress. You do have days where you just want to go home and relax. But I enjoy it. I enjoy the work. I enjoy the job. I enjoy fixing devices. I enjoy learning new things every day. I enjoy when I work on a device that I have not worked on in the past and I fix it. I enjoy it. I feel it. So you have to enjoy what you do. Just my 2 cents. Okay, and the plate is out. The plate is out. And our TriStar chip is right over here, right there. So Apple doesn't want to make it easy. They don't want to make it easy for you to reach that TriStar chip. Right now, pin number 1 is pointing down to this corner. We have to keep that in mind. And I like to use Flux when desoldering. I do not have to, but it just helps make solder flow better. Done. We're gonna get rid of the glare so everything is nice and sharp. So now we're gonna apply leaded solder and mix it along with unleaded, and we're gonna wick off those solder balls using hot tweezers. For all of you who've been following the channel, you know the technique that we're going to use. We're going to be using the hot tweezers desoldering technique on here. But first we have to apply leaded solder on top of unleaded. By doing so, we are lowering the melting temperature of those solder balls so we can easily wick them off. So right now we're going to use our premium braid. We're going to cut a piece off and hold it with hot tweezers. This braid is very thick, firm, and it doesn't fall apart when using it, like the cheap ones that you buy off Amazon or eBay. So what I'm going to do is grab that wick. It's going to smoke. Look at this. Done. The job is done. I mean, the braid is thick. It can really suck solder. No, I just want to compare it to MG Chemical braid that I have here. This is an MG Chemicals wick. And MG Chemical is a company known for making flux, solder, the desoldering braid. And I just cut a piece off their roll here. I just want to show you the difference. I mean, look at all those wires. It's soft. It spreads open. Look at this. You cannot do anything with this wick. You see how it spreads open, how it's soft? Look at the tip. Look at all the wires sticking out. I want to go over our braid one more time. The premium braid. And I just want to show you the difference. I want to show you the difference. Look at this. Look at how stiff and solid this is. Look. That's the difference between a premium braid and a cheap braid. And we're gonna place it right over here. Pin number 1 should be facing the corner on the bottom left. Just like that, but we need flux. Okay, so right now we're gonna solder the Tristar chip. I just wanted to make a slight connection with the pads. Okay. Now we're gonna reflow the chip down in place. Once we see it settling down in place like it just did, we're gonna push it, we're gonna tap it. When we tap it and it goes back, it pulls back, we know that the job is done. So let's go ahead and test. We're gonna use our Tristar tester again. Okay, let's look at this under the microscope. Now look at this, pass. Job is done. Job is done. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment if you have any questions, and we'll do something else in the next video.